All right, where to even begin? First off, sorry if this is another personal thing instead of a proper video. I've been spending all my available time packing and shipping things and responding to people in particular. There's been such a torrential outpouring of support in the form of encouragement and kind words and donations and interest in the things I've got for sale, etc., etc. It's been wild. I was completely unprepared, and I've been just working on catching up as much as possible because I want to respond to every single person. I didn't just want to grab all the email addresses and copy paste them into a single generic thank you message with everyone in the blind copy, but I want to actually thank each person by name. In fact, I also thought about doing a shout out in this video, but it's a lot of names and I don't know if everyone is okay with being mentioned by their official name as it comes through the PayPal donation. So I said, I've been trying to get back to everyone. I think I got just about everyone. If you're one of the people who donated, if you fell through the cracks, I'm sorry. But just, again, a big thank you to all of you. I also made sure to reply to everyone who inquired about anything for sale. That was a lot of copy paste, I have to admit, even though I did change the names at least. But yeah, so in short, it's been a lot of time spent on that. And obviously, I'm not saying that to complain. I'm saying that to illustrate just what a mind-blowing amount of support and interest there has been. Stuff was just selling like hotcakes, like crazy. I was not prepared for that, but I very much do appreciate it. So once again, thank you, folks. I've taken off the things that are claimed. Most of it is already packaged and shipped, but a few things I haven't gotten around to packaging yet. We're still waiting for payment, stuff like that. And there are a couple that I still need to finish reviewing, like the LKChen Town Guard. This has been a long time coming because I actually thought that I had reviewed it already because I had made a bunch of videos where it featured prominently. And somehow in my head, I thought I was already done with it. But no, I haven't actually done the full review yet. So that's still coming, but funnily enough, it's already claimed for after the review is finished. As you can see, I kept a few things that I'm particularly attached to. And also in case of the War Scythe, I just can't ship it. It's too long to be shipped. By the way, quite a few people were interested in the Heavy Dusak by Adam Bodorix, but after a lot of deliberation, I've decided to keep that one after all. It was a close call, but ultimately I couldn't really bring myself to part with it. I still have an arsenal of blunt practice swords like this one because I'm holding out hope that if and when these health issues get sorted out, I'll eventually be able to get back into regular HEMA practice and then I'll need those. I might put some of these up to fill the gaps there. I just noticed I forgot to put my ring back on after I just took it off to take a bath. Before anyone starts to wildly speculate, oh, is he getting a divorce too? No, everything is perfect on that front. And speaking of speculation, what I said in that video was not cope. I mean it. I'm not mourning the loss. It's okay. There are more important things than physical possessions, and health is so much more important. In fact, if I regret anything, it's that I haven't done this earlier already. Because just to think all these years that I've been struggling fruitlessly, where things only kept getting worse, or maybe got a little better for a while and then got worse again, I feel like maybe if I had sought out the help I need, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad. Maybe my quality of life could have been better all this time. Like even for things like, for example, I love exploration, checking out new places, going to museums, etc. And it's been rough. Like whenever I do that, if I'm on my feet for hours, I feel absolutely awful. I'm in pain. It's a miserable experience overall. physically, that is. Mentally, I'm still enjoying it, but it could be so much more enjoyable. So the main focus now is on figuring out exactly what it is. And so here are two questions that are good questions, perfectly reasonable, that I figured I should answer. So one, why doesn't Canadian healthcare cover that? And the answer is, it does, just not effectively enough. Or rather, it's not so much the coverage, it's more the healthcare system in the sense of there's a severe shortage of doctors and nurses, and the medical infrastructure, if you will, just has been kind of crumbling. And there are way too many people who need help and not enough help to go around, and they pretty much shoo you out of the office. The thing is, I can't blame them, all right? It's all a matter of priority. You know, triage goes from the emergency room to the doctor's office. On all levels, they have to prioritize. And I will not hold it against anyone that, you know, a person who's dealing with cancer or severe life-threatening cardiovascular problems or whatever, that they are treated before I am. Like, obviously, of course. That means long wait times. The whole process takes a long time to get anywhere. And then there's the problem that when you have a condition that is not that well known or more difficult to diagnose, it's hard to get somewhere. Because like the doctor, in my case, all the easy fixes have already been checked. You know, people have asked me about so many things. Have you checked this? Have you checked that? Have you checked that? Yes, 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 yes. Thyroid function, check, normal. Vitamin B12, check. Vitamin D, check. Other vitamins and minerals, check. Iron levels, etc. All normal. Testosterone levels, check. Sleep apnea, check. I've even done an APAP trial, and you know, once I got used to it, it changed absolutely nothing. The only difference that it made is that that sleeping was a bit more uncomfortable. But as I said, even after a while, when I got used to it, it didn't improve the issues. I still wake up tired. Lyme disease, I haven't actually been checked for. Seems very unlikely in my case, but I can't put it on the list. Long COVID, that can't be it either, because I've had these chronic fatigue issues since childhood, which seems ridiculous because normally children are bundles of endless energy constantly running around. But I remember already having those bouts of absolutely debilitating, overwhelming fatigue and brain fog and poor memory, etc., etc. That's been with me literally my entire life. So that's nothing new. That's long before COVID ever happened. So in short, a lot of things that are relatively easy to diagnose and treat have already been crossed off. So now we're venturing into the trickier territory. Things like neurotransmitter issues and chronic fatigue syndrome, which a lot of doctors are not familiar with and which are a lot more difficult to diagnose. And speaking of diagnosis, I'm not claiming I have that, by the way, because I don't know, that's literally what I'm searching for. You know, I'm looking for someone who can figure out what it is. Chronic fatigue sounds very much familiar. When I look up the symptoms, like pretty much everything just sounds very, very familiar. And it describes what I'm dealing with pretty well overall. But whether that's what it is, I have no idea. And then on top of that is the list of injuries that have refused to heal, which has grown over time. So that's where you hit a certain cutoff point beyond which you're no longer covered by health insurance. Like I mentioned, the first, I believe it was 5 physiotherapy sessions. Those are covered by health insurance. Anything after that, you have to pay out of pocket. It's not crazy expensive, but it adds up. It's over $100 per physiotherapy session, and you tend to need quite a lot of them. So that's something that does have to be paid out of pocket eventually, and it adds up, particularly with how many. Like I wasn't even done with the elbow yet. Now there's the foot, and then there are other costly things that are either not covered or only to a point, like therapy for food addiction, which I know, according to some of you, isn't real. You're free to believe whatever you want. I live this shit. And so do many other people. Speaking of which, it's kind of concerning how many of the people who reached out said they can relate to this because they have similar problems. You know, it's nice when something's relatable, because then you know that, oh no, it's not just in your head. There are other people dealing with the same shit. It's real, etc. But it sucks, because like, I know how much of a detriment it is, how much it reduces quality of life. So I'm sorry to know that so many other people are dealing with similar things. And then the other question was, hey, you have over 1.6 million subscribers. Why do you need to sell most of your collection to cover these expenses? And well, YouTube isn't what it used to be. It's something that you will see with a lot of older channels. I've seen cases of 1 million subscribers and 10,000 views per video, or even less sometimes. The views on there where the ad revenue isn't what it used to be. And it also depends a lot on the individual channel. I've seen very different numbers in terms of like CPM, like what you get paid per 1,000 views. That can vary drastically between channels based on how desirable the algorithm considers the category or niche or whatever, and how well monetized the channel is, or monetizable, how family friendly. There's so many factors. All I can say is that while running this channel is still sustainable for now, and for that I'm immensely grateful, by the way, it's doing a lot worse than it used to. And at the same time, the prices have, as everybody knows, have risen astronomically. So yeah, budgeting is a lot more challenging these days. Again, I'm not telling you that to complain. This is not a woe is me spiel. I feel immensely privileged that, one, I ever made it this far, and two, that I can still do this. And also, I don't want anyone to worry, because this is my personal challenge to deal with. I could just be cranking out more content, and I have been trying to get back to uploading twice a week, or even more often. Some weeks I can only manage one video depending on how time consuming it is. Not your problem. This is just, you know, budgeting and whatever that I have to figure out. I have to get better at time management, things like that. And no fundraiser or anything. Some people have suggested, you know, start a GoFundMe. I don't want that. I appreciate the intention, I really do, and I'm very grateful for anyone who signed up on Patreon and sent in super chats and all of that. But a fundraiser is just more help than I'm comfortable asking for at this point. And the generous support that people have already given me in this crazy, overwhelming, mind-blowing week will go a long way toward trying to figure out what's wrong and hopefully getting treated, or at least mitigated, and at the very least getting the injuries addressed, and hopefully coaxing them finally into healing. One of the ideas that's on the table is traveling to Europe to go to a specialist clinic where they can run a number of relevant tests, and paying for that. And that's really not too bad. It's like apparently a couple €1,000 to run a bunch of tests with the funds from selling stuff and donations. That should definitely cover that and then some. So yeah, I'm definitely well set to go ahead. Now, this will be a long process. You know, just first off, I'm gonna have to do my research and really look into like, what's the best option? Like, which clinic should I go to? What are the best tests to run? Because I do not want to waste this money. Of course, I feel like I owe that to everyone who pitched in. I really want to make sure that I'm using that money correctly, right? As much as I can. Sometimes you just don't know. But yeah, my goodness, this has been rambling. I mean, I feel like I haven't even gone off on tangents or veered off the topic anyway. This is all relevant to the topic. So yeah, there's just a lot of stuff to talk about. I'll just leave it at, again, thank you all so much. And I hope everyone who bought things will be happy with them. 2 of them I gave away. One was returned to the original owner, who gave it to me, and I didn't know who it was anymore. I didn't have the email anymore. I couldn't remember, and I was very happy that the person reached out and asked if it could be bought back, but I just said no, I'm just gonna return it. It feels like the right thing to do. So yeah, I'm actually feeling quite good about the whole thing, I have to say. Like, yeah, some things, it's a bit of a shame, but again, health is more important. I do not regret this. I very much doubt I will ever regret it. This is the right choice. I know it, and I can live with that. So, yeah, enough talk. Thanks for sticking with me, and for still watching stuff, and for making it through this long-ass babbly video. Yeah, I'll keep you updated every now and then. In fact, one kind of tangent, but still relevant. One final thing. I have actually started, set up another channel. There are even a few videos that I've made that I put up already, but I haven't published it yet. Because the thing is, this was supposed to be a health and fitness and whatever channel that consists largely of getting my shit together, getting back in shape, and documenting the progress. Yeah, what progress? So I kept holding off on it because I'm like, oh shit, yet another setback. And I wanted to make sure I get to a point where I know that, okay, from here on out, I've got this. I've been at that point so many times. In the past, I've had this click, like where, okay, the lever has been fully switched and the gears are turning, and from now on, I'm dead serious about this, and now I'm making progress. That's how it's been in the past, when it wasn't quite as difficult as it is now. The older I got, the harder it got. Normally it's the other way around, but anyway. So now I've hit that point multiple times, like I've lost count at least 6 times over the course of the last 5 years, where I was like, yep, okay, now I'm back in it. Now I'm back in the groove. I'm fully committed. I got this, only to fuck it up again. So that's why I still haven't launched that channel. Maybe I should just go ahead and do it. Like, even if it doesn't work, at least maybe there's some, at the very least, entertainment value in watching someone struggle and keep screwing it up over and over again. Maybe it's at least going to be funny. I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of value in it, or maybe this is finally the time. I don't know why I mentioned that, because I don't plan to actually post the link to that channel on here, because I want to build it up like without using this channel as a crutch. If you know what I mean, I want to start from scratch, and I want to see how far I can go with it. Right, this is why I brought it up. I want to ask you folks how you feel about that. Would you like to see some of that here on this channel? Would you like to see an occasional update? Would you like to see something like, here's what happened. I went to that trainer and this is a session, or that's how it went, or I went to that specialist and this is what they told me, that this is the test that they ran, etc. It's not particularly relevant to anything else I normally do on here. I just wanted to ask, throw that out there, like, would there be interest in it? Let me know. Okay, that's really it. I'm gonna cut it off here. Thanks for making it that far, and I'll see you in the next video. That'll be a proper one. I still need to catch up on reviews, so the next one will be a sword review, and hopefully another one after that, because I need to work down the pile that I still have to finish and then ship out. So, all right, take care.